Right here I have the Antec NX 290. It's a mid-tower case. I haven't been buying or used an Antec case for ages. I needed like a really cheap case, really cheap case to host some old components that I have to sell. That basically I don't care about. I'm just looking to sell it, in a cheap price or something, just to get rid of it. It's a really old components too, so I thought, yeah, let's give Antec a shot again. And this case looked good. I mean, that's what people look these days in a case. I mean, for it to have RGB. It has three fixed RGB fans. That means you can't change the RGB colors on them. It's just RGB. ARGB wrap. You'll see how it looks like. Basically, it has a shroud, as you can see. It has everything. We'll go into the box and see the case personally, but basically that's an illustration of how it looks like. Let's see. Turn the carton around. Looks around here. You have all the specifications here. So we're talking about a 404 by 206 and a 450 by 450 millimeter 404 depth, 206 width, and 450 millimeter height. The form factor is mid-tower, obviously, and materials are still in plastic. Let's see, main board supports EATX, ATX, micro TX, ITX. So basically all the, today's form factors, like the regular form factors, like won't support like E, E, B, E, W. I don't know that form factor for servers and all that, but you don't need that. I'm gonna be using micro TX anyway. So that's the motherboard that I have. Front access controls, power, reset, USB 2, two USB 2s, USB 1. I will never understand why case manufacturers do that. Why don't you just do two USB 3s? Why do you need USB 2 anymore on the front? I mean, it's a new case. Come on, get with the program, Just have two USB 3s. Why do you need USB 2 anymore? It has headphones and microphone jack. It has a tempered glass as the side panel, and 7 expansion slots. It has 5.25. You don't need those anymore. It has two 3.5 inch drive bays and one for SSD. Wow, just one. That's crazy. But I'm pretty sure you could use an adapter if you don't have a 3.5 to put. And it has another 2.5. That's weird. Why would you? Because it's a combination. Yeah. So in the 3.5 bay, you could put like either one. Okay. Now I understand. Okay, so you have basically, I'm just gonna have a single SSD, like 2.5 SSD in there. It's the 1 terabyte that I have for it. The fans, you have a 120 millimeter fans. You could put like two 140 millimeter fans in there. The top, you have you could put two 120 millimeter. Or two 140 millimeter. The rear is 120 millimeter. I'm not gonna touch the fans. I'm gonna use it the way it came. 3 in the front. I know that you have 3 ARGB fans in the front and one non-RGB in the back. So that's how I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna touch it, and I'm not gonna change anything about it. The one that's gonna buy this case will have to do all the modification if he wants to. I'm not gonna touch anything. The power supply shroud, you could put 2 fans in there too. So basically you have like 8, it supports up to 8 fans. On the shroud you could put two 120 millimeter fans. And the included fans, as I mentioned, 3 in the front, ARGB fans, colorful fans as they call it, and another non-RGB or regular fan as they call it in the rear. The radiator is the front supports 120 millimeter, 140 millimeter, 240 millimeter, 280 millimeter, and 360 millimeter. So basically most of the liquid cooler radiator except from 420 and 470. Those are not supported in this case. The rear, and you could put like 120 in the rear. So you can't put like a radiator on top. So yeah, just a side note. This is you can only use it for in the front for the big ones, or just a little one if you want to. You could put it in the rear. So if you're planning to put like a radiator on top in this case, I don't think it supports it because they don't mention it over here. But heck, you could try it. Just be ready for disappointment if it doesn't work. The clearance. Okay, so the clearance for the GPU is 320 millimeter. I'm gonna be using a Strix kind of card like the GTX 1660 Ti. It's a Strix variant, so this bad boy has well, not bad boy anymore, but back in the day it was a bad boy. Yeah, it's 302 millimeter or 301 millimeter graphics card, I believe. And the max CPU cooler is support is the height for the max CPU cooler support is 155 millimeters, so that's perfectly fine. I'm going to be using a Thermalright Assassin X Redefined SC, which this one has 148 millimeter heights, so that's perfectly fine. The max PSU length is 165 millimeter with the HDD cage, or you could have up to 300 millimeter without the HDD cage. So if you take out the HDD cage, you have like room for all your cables, and you could put like a longer power supply in there. So I'm gonna be using 160 millimeter power supply, so I'm gonna leave the HD cages in, so because you know somebody's gonna buy it, so I don't want to have them go through like unscrewing it, screwing it. He can do that his damn self. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna leave it in because my power supply is gonna support with the cage on, so it doesn't matter. The dust filter, you have one in the top and one in the bottom, so you don't get a dust filter in the front. That's interesting. Okay, moving on to the net weight is 425 kilograms and gross weight 5.05 kilograms. Alright, these are all the specifications on this case. They labeled it pretty nicely. I like that. I like it when a case company label all the specification on the box itself before you go in. That way if something doesn't work out, you can return it like without having to open the box. And right now I verified that all my components that I have for this case is gonna be a perfect fit. So with that said, let's just open the box and take a closer look on the case. Okay, so this is basically the case. It looks pretty nice, looks decent, and I can verify there is no place to put a dust filter inside the front panel in here, but it's okay. I mean, the buyer is gonna have to deal with that. I'm not dealing with anything. There's a easily removable dust filter on top, but I can see that there are holes for liquid cooler over here, but I don't know. I'm not gonna sell it with a liquid cooler, so that's pointless. I'm not gonna test it or anything. It has a tempered glass side panel over here, as we mentioned, and the shroud, PSU shroud, is over there with a cutout, so you could see the power supply, part of the power supply anyway. The back is just a regular, just your regular what do you call it, the side panel. Nothing fancy here, no ventilation, so it's cool. As you can see, you have regular motherboard cutout, and you have the PCI slot covers. Yeah. Okay. Wow. It's just insane how cheap that feels. What you get, what you pay for. Yeah, it feels cheap. Like the materials and the aluminum and everything, steel, really feels cheap. It's cheap material. But anyway, let's get into the case. I want us to take a closer look. So I'm going to remove both of the panels, and we'll see how it looks like from the inside. Okay, so this is the interior of the case. The shroud has a ventilated top port, so you can install the 2 fans that they mentioned. And the cutout is pretty nice. You get a nice cutout for your PSU, and this is the hole for the hole that you have here is for your liquid cooler if you install it. I'm not gonna install liquid cooler. And basically these are the fans. They're installed in the outer part of the front panel, not inside, so you could have more room for your graphics card and everything. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I like that. I like the configuration. It's not bad. It's not a bad case, to be honest with you. It's not that cheap. I felt more cheaper cases than that from Antec. This is not bad. And they have the fans. These are, as I mentioned, fixed ARGB fans. So you just connect the fans to your regular, what do you call it, the PWM. Is it PWM? I don't think so. I doubt it. But these gotta be. Oh, these are. Whoa. These are just Molex, so they will run at full speed. So whoever is gonna buy that is gonna. Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be terrible. And this has a 3-pin. Okay, so this is connecting directly to the motherboard, and these are just. Holy moly. Yeah, that's not gonna be nice, but hey, whoever's gonna buy it is gonna have to deal with it, right? It's not my business. So basically these are just gonna connect via Molex, 4-pin Molex, so yeah, that's fine by me. I'm gonna have to deal with it. And this I will connect it directly to the motherboard. There is a fan header, I know, on the motherboard just for the rear fan. It's pretty cool. And yeah, basically that's it for the fans. You have, as I mentioned, as the box mentioned, also you have room for 3 fans over here. I think so. I think 2. Yeah, 220 millimeter or 240. And it looks like it has holes for a liquid cooler up here too, but I don't think a radiator is gonna fit in here. It's too short. And you could put like 2 fans on here, and yeah, basically that's pretty much it. The included fans are already gonna stay. I'm not gonna add any fans or anything on here. No. It's just exactly how the case came. That's how it's gonna be. So yeah, you're not gonna touch anything. So basically you get, let's go over the cables first. The case cables that you're gonna have to plug to the motherboard. So you get like a USB. No, this is an HD audio. They don't label it, but I can recognize the connector. It has a hole in the middle, on the top part, sorry. So I can recognize that this is an HD audio. And this is a USB. This one is the USB 2. And then you have your front I/O cables. You have HDD LED. Probably can't see it, but I'm just gonna read it. Power LED plus, power LED minus, and power SW, power switch, and the reset switch. That's what you get. So there is no power LED, or there is? Yeah, there is. Or reset. Yeah. The HD, yeah, you have everything. HDD LED, power LED, yeah, okay. And you have the USB 3, which I don't understand why they didn't put like just two USB 3 instead of the USB 2. The USB 2 is totally worthless. Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't understand why cases manufacturers does this. I don't understand. But hey, whatever. I'm just gonna. There is on that motherboard there is a USB 3 connector and USB 2. I'm gonna take advantage of both of them. So whatever. And you have a kind of a guide, like remove side panel, how to remove it. As if you need a guide for that. Whoa, what the heck is this? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a guide on how to install the components on the case. Okay, that's fine. And over here you have a bag with all the accessories. They give you like PCI covers, removable PCI covers, because you're gonna have to break the first two for the graphics card. So they give you two. So yeah, but that is if you're gonna remove the graphics card later. But yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna put it into the accessory box where I'm gonna sell it to the seller. You get like standoffs in there, regular motherboard screws I can see, and the HDD screws and whatnot. It's fine. And speaking of the HDD, this is the HDD cage. It's removable, I can see, as they mentioned. And you can put like 2.5 inch drive over here and just a single 3.5 HDD, which is cool. Yeah, it's fine. I think you could also put like 3.5 on top on here, because I see holes over here too. There is holes here and here. So this is for the 2.5. This is for the 3.5. So you could choose that. You could choose what you want to use. I'm gonna use a single SSD right here. So this is where you install another 2.5 either HDD or SSD. For me, the only storage that's gonna be in the build that I'm gonna sell is just a single SSD, 2.5, 1 terabyte. That's all they're gonna get, and that's enough, to be honest, for the system. Way more than enough for the system and a few games. Yeah, and whatnot, and yeah. So basically, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all there is to cover about this case. If you want to see the front panel, let's just open it. Okay, so the front panel easily comes off, which is good. And yeah. Okay, so we have the fans over here. They're installed in the exterior part of the case, as I mentioned before, which is good. That makes more room for the graphics card. That way you can have a really long graphics card. Well, I shouldn't say really long, because the really long is the 40 series right now. But you could put up to 320 millimeters, so that's cool. That's more than enough for the graphics card that I have in store for it, so that works for me. Yeah, but anyway, this is nice. I just hope these fans are good, somewhat good to push some air. But yeah, it's not gonna be a crazy build. It's gonna be a really budget build. That's hence why I bought like a really budget case. Hold on, let me just put it back. So anyway, this is pretty much it. The cases are nice. It looks pretty good. It's really budget friendly. It feels really simple. Like it feels really you know, budgety. It's not really, yeah. This thing is really fragile too. The metal on here, like it could easily bend and everything. So this is not a premium quality. Let's just get it out of the way. It's not a premium quality. If you're looking for a premium quality case, this is not it. But this is a good case if you're just looking to have something, you know, that looks good. And I don't know if it's how good it is in terms of airflow. If it could move air like these fans, I don't know. How good could they be? But the case itself, I'm talking about the case itself right now. And we'll have to see how good it is moving air with the test I'm gonna do. It might be the fans. Like the fans need to be good as well. But I don't know how good they are. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, that's what they're getting. They can do whatever they want with their own time, their own computer after they buy it. For me, I'm gonna sell it this way, the way it comes. And yeah. But overall, I'm pretty sure this case is gonna look good. It looks pretty nice to me. I mean, I like it. If you're just looking to build something, you know, really cheap and everything, I mean, this could work for you. And of all the budget cases, the bad budget cases that I've yet to that I came across, let's just say it like that, I came across, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And yeah. It's looks pretty good. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't covered I/O on the top, so how foolish of me. So you have the USB 3, USB 2. Whoa, what is this? You only have one jack. Okay, I'm glad I actually remembered to cover this, because look at this. You have one jack to share, like either a microphone or so either a microphone or a sound like headphones or whatever. So you don't get two. Wow, that's crazy. But whatever. You get a reset button, and you get like a power button, and over here maybe these are LEDs, or the LEDs are inside the buttons. I don't know. But we'll see once we assemble everything. But yeah, overall this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video about the Antec NX290. Mid-tower case. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.